we go, y'all. Hi. All
Hello.
right. Now
Hi.
I'm excited to dive in on questions, but I want to give y'all each a chance to introduce yourselves first. So Pooja Chopra, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I would like.
So what do our audience need to know about you today? What do you do at Halliburton and how long have you been there?
So with Halliburton, I started my career in 2013, and when I joined as a technical engineer on field. So I did a extensive job on field for almost 7 years, and only after that I moved to office now. So it's been almost 10 years that I've been working with Halliburton, and it
Very
has been
cool.
great so far.
I'd love to hear it. All right, Shreyasi, would you like to go next?
Yeah. So my journey with Halliburton happened straight after college. I was hired as a fresher in 2008 as a technologist, and I have been supporting Halliburton technology for almost 15 years now. This is actually the month I completed my 15th year with Halliburton. So I've always been in the drilling side, supported through research development and technical support to operations on the drilling side.
Very cool, and congratulations on your work anniversary. Got it, love to hear it. Pooja Shazaman, how about you? What should our audience know about you today?
Yeah. Good morning, Meg. Good morning, everybody there. So my name is Pooja Shazama. I joined Halliburton in 2012 as a technical proposal. From there on, I moved on to various roles. I got into a product line called Drill Bits, and I've been associated with Halliburton for almost 11 years now. And my current title or the current role that I'm playing is the country manager role, where I have to deal with all the product lines, profits, and losses. So that's how I'm associated with Halliburton till date.
Very cool. All right. Now the first question that I wanted to ask each of you, I want to know what inspired you to pursue a career within the oil and gas industry. Shreyasi, would you maybe want to get us started?
Yeah, sure. So I'm basically from a chemistry background, and there are some fields which are quite attractive to a chemistry graduate. And I learned actually about Halliburton while I was in college. I was doing my master's, and when I got an opportunity to apply, I didn't hesitate. And yeah, that's how I got into one of my dream companies, and it's been great going till then.
Excellent. Pooja Shazaman, I'll go with Pooja S, so that way for brevity's sake.
Yeah.
How about you? What led you into the oil and gas industry?
So honestly, I was not actually looking out to join oil and gas at the first place, but I happened to know a friend who actually worked in oil and gas, and he helped me patch through in this industry. So when I honestly didn't know about oil and gas because I was from the telecom industry, did my engineering thing there. So, but when I got to know about this profile of oil and gas industry, it really excited me because, I like adventures, and this is something a very adventurous industry to be in, to be on the field and something different than what you do, right? Day in, day out. It's always something new to learn at. So that interested me. And I said, let's take this adventure here and see how long it goes. So, yeah.
Excellent. All right, Pooja C, what led you to oil and gas? Is this something that you had looked to get into the industry first and then found your way to Halliburton, or did it maybe happen a little differently for you?
No, it was actually planned for me because I did my engineering in petroleum. So I was a petroleum engineer. I had a lot of background before I could join Halliburton. So I knew that there are a lot of fascinating, exciting challenges that are something that always makes me, be engaged in the work, and it makes me feel excited about it. So that is what I opted for, and definitely when I joined it was the same. There are a lot of challenges every day. The industry demands you to be on your toes 24/7, and which is definitely thrilling, fascinating, and helps you to keep yourself engaged without actually just saturating yourself with something which is everyday process.
Yeah, of course. All right, so I want to know, and I'll start with you, Pooja C. Could you tell us any instances in your career where you think that confidence really played a crucial role in your success within the field?
Um, yes. So to start with this, I would say confidence is much required in the industry. So when you start, first of all, it's required for negotiating not only with the clients but also with the vendors, with your team members itself every day. So if you are a strong believer that only confidence is something that will gain you uh, that perspective to deal with these situations, and negotiation is important. It's in fact in every business that you do every day, you deal with anyone, it's almost negotiating every time. So that confidence is required for you to have effective communication, and at the same time it will help you to build your mutual beneficial relationships also. So that is something that I understood in this, and obviously then decision making, all of that follows with confidence. So as you all are aware that oil and gas demands us to be on toes. So since and it's around the clock operations, so confidence will only drive you to take a particular decision at the right time, right moment, and also for your team to understand that yes, whatever decision you are taking would be helpful, and for them to trust will come with your own confidence. Obviously it comes with a balanced competency, humility, and also with willingness to learn and take the challenge, but then confidence is required at every step of this process.
Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, I think it's one of those things where having confidence in yourself allows other people to trust in you. So I think that you're right. It really does come down to, have you built up the confidence in yourself so that you can make sure that that trust is well founded, once you get it from others. Great. Pooja S, do you want to weigh in here before we move to our next question?
Yeah, so I do agree with Pooja that yes, on a daily basis, we are challenged a lot of times, and that's where our confidence play a key role, to address those challenges, whether it can be internal or external, and especially when in an oil and gas, which is more dominated by males, right? So the confidence that you nurture within yourselves becomes all the more crucial to deal with all the day-to-day activities, to deal with all those challenges that you face. But one thing that keeps driving me to striving me forward is to keep learning something new, and keep trying till you succeed. So that's how I build my confidence there.
Very cool. Shreyasi, how about you? Do you think that confidence has been really key to a specific instance of success in your career?
Yes, yes, absolutely. As both Poojas have reiterated that, the oil and gas industry throws so many challenges at us day in and day out. And, especially, we are all, I think all three of us are used to, learning the ropes of new roles very frequently in our career with Halliburton. And, you cannot go into a new role if you lack belief and confidence in yourself. So if you want to grow in your career, it's good to be ambitious, of course, but you have to back yourself. You have to have confidence in yourself, because then if you project that confidence, your team is going to look up to you, and they are going to work equally hard as you do. As Pooja C has rightly said, like being a 24/7 operation, it's not easy, both mentally and physically, to support this kind of a requirement, and to always be alert, to always, enthuse your team. It requires a lot of confidence. So I do agree with both of them.
I'm loving the conversation we're having here. I'm starting to see people jump in the chat as well. If y'all have a question that you'd like me to ask of our wonderful panel here, please feel free to share that question in the chat thread. If you want to be kept anonymous, no worries. You can DM me or my colleague Sanmaya in the chat thread there, and we'd be happy to ask your question and keep you anonymous. All right, so let's talk about what this looks like from inside Halliburton. Let's start with Pooja Steve to start with. Could you share some of the strategies or resources that have helped you to build and maintain self-confidence, especially within a predominantly male-dominated work environment? How does Halliburton support you here?
So To start with to answer this question, I would say fortunately, this was something that I picked up very quickly when I joined the industry. Since I was a field engineer and had to work and have extensively worked on field with in remote areas with a lot of obviously male colleagues. So this was something that I had to understand, and fortunately, I understood it very quickly, that it's essential to find an approach that would align with my personality, and also keep my values and goals intact while I build a network by which I'll be guided. So Halliburton definitely has a mentorship program. It has different programs which will, help you to, bring up your voice at times where it's required. But at the same time, for any individual joining in, or especially females joining in, I would say it's very important that you start seeking mentorship. Look, a mentor can definitely offer you insights wherever required, and based on his experience or her experience, you will be guided throughout. So not necessarily challenges would be same, but with the help from a vendor, from a mentor, it will definitely help you to go ahead and resolve your issues. At times it might be different, but at least you'll be guided to what has to be done. And obviously then next would be develop your skills and expertise. So if the moment you know that you're growing professionally, it will help you gain your own self confidence, and with that self confidence you can conquer anything. So it's definitely good that you get your own self confidence built up first, and then embrace your achievements is something that I would definitely say, is because you don't wait for someone else to come and tell that you are doing a good job. Recognize it for yourself and celebrate your accomplishments. This would make you feel good, and obviously it will raise your level of confidence as well. So that is something that I wanted to talk about
No, I
at
think
this
it's
point.
genius. It really does. You can't just be sitting there waiting for somebody else to tell you something is good before you're like allowed to say it, right? And I feel like a lot of times, depending on, what your personal experience has been like, personally, I feel like as women, we are not raised to be braggy. We're not raised to talk about ourselves. And so if you think about it less in terms of, I want everybody else to be proud of me, and more of, I want everybody to know what I'm so proud of. For me, at least, it makes it a lot easier to be like, oh, I'm really proud that I did this, because it doesn't feel like I'm asking for compliments anymore. I don't know. It's just a small shift that worked for me, but I think that is really excellent to recognize that, like, you need to recognize that things are like, that what you did is impressive, or that you did something really difficult. You don't need other people to acknowledge it to make it valid. So I love that. Okay, so let's talk about this. Pooja or Shreyasi, would y'all like to weigh in on how Halliburton supports you in this? If there's any resources that y'all have taken advantage of through the company?
Yeah. So there are several avenues, as Pooja had mentioned. There are mentor-mentee programs where the pairing is done in a very scientific way to make sure that the level of interest, the skill level, the number of years of service, and the area of interest are all matching. Then there are also women support groups, employee assistant programs, and all these. But that being said, the number one change that needs to be brought is in your attitude. Like, you have to own your career, whether it is a male dominated field or not, that is irrespective of that. So you need to, if you think that you want to excel in a technical role, go for it, find all the resources that are required. And if some are not accessible to you, talk to your superiors. And if they really believe in you, if they think that it brings value, they'll definitely support you for it. At least in Halliburton, as far as my experience has been, I have got a lot of support that way. Just to give you an example, like I have had now 15 years of experience, and I am a subject matter expert in several fields, but I have recently enrolled for a very rigorous course, which would help me to become an SME in another area. So many people were asking that, is it required? I mean, you are all set, and you are already an SME. Why do you need to put in this 2 years of further hard work? But I need to do that if I want to grow, right? Otherwise, I'll just remain stagnant while the rest of the world marches on. So I mean, irrespective of what kind of diversity you have in your group, you always own your career and find your path, and always be the first to grab opportunities. That's how you will continue to grow. And challenging yourself is obviously it's an excellent way to boost your career. So I've always tried to do that, and I don't think that any period of time is too late to enroll in something new or to learn some new skill. You need to do that. You owe it to yourself.
Yes, 100%. I mean, even if you're not a very curious person by nature, we are all well past the age where once you graduate college, you don't have to think about it ever again, right? Continuing education is not just for doctors, lawyers, and CPAs anymore. We are all going to have to be learning and growing and upskilling the rest of our lives. So I think it is a really good way to think about it in this way of like, you're keeping your skills sharp. You're making sure that you are still like, have everything that you need to be prepared for your job, but you are also bringing that extra curiosity and like, but I want to know how things work. I want to know how this is going. So yeah, it's wonderful. Shreyasi, from within this field, I'm sure there's been times where you've, accomplished something really amazing or really needed to advocate for yourself. Do you have any tips for people who are within the oil and gas industry, especially women, who are trying to ensure that their contributions are recognized and valued? Have you had, a situation in your past where you've had to do this and advocate for yourself?
I think this is something which, like, since this is a highly technical career, so from day one, we've been always trained to, bring forth the fact that we are technical experts and assert the level of expertise. And that can be done through various avenues. But one of the first avenues which we look for is to bring forth our accomplishments in technical conferences, publishing in technical papers. I think that's important if you're in a technical career, because it makes your resume strong. But most importantly, when you attend these conferences, seminars, or you have these interactions with industry experts, it opens up your mind as to how much of new technology is out there, which our competitors, for instance, are offering, and where can you position yourself in the market, and where are the gaps. So it's very important, I think. I mean, speaking as an advisor, since I have been in a technical role, that these industry recognized standard conferences and publications, and patent publications, these are areas where we should definitely work on. Halliburton encourages this a lot. There are incentives for technical publications or publishing patents. You get incentives when your patents are filed or granted in USPTO or in other organizations. So these things are in place so that people continue to contribute technically to the organization and to their own intellectual property. And after all, the measure of a company's contribution to R&D is very much weighed by how much of intellectual property they generate. So every year, our competitors are, constantly screening each other and within themselves as to how they are faring on intellectual property and likewise. So this is like one area in which, we can assert ourselves, by making our presence felt in technical arenas, which are recognized industry-wise.
Very, very cool. I'm absolutely loving everything you're talking about here. All right, does anyone else want to weigh in before we move to our next question here? No? Okay. Pooja C, I'm going to go to you first for this one. Can you tell us about some of the steps that Halliburton has taken to promote a more inclusive and supportive environment for women in the industry, especially in the areas like fostering confidence and empowering y'all to excel?
So over time, Halliburton has already initiated and implemented several initiatives and programs for women. So this some of these are what we have been part of. So I know about is Women Sharing Excellence platform. So there's this platform, especially it's known as WSE Network. If people go through Halliburton site, and if they search for it, it's known as WSE Network. And Halliburton has established this network for an employee to resource with all the group and be focused on empowering women within the company. So over there, these events are mostly held, say monthly or by 2 months or 3 months. It's always there, and where all the female employees come in, they gather together, and they do discuss about their networking opportunities and what I mean, whatever they want to share and feel comfortable with. That platform gives you all that you would need to grow together as a woman in the company. The second thing that Halliburton has is Women in Leadership program. So over there, Halliburton has been focusing on identifying, developing candidates, female candidates, where they can, channelize them to grow through opportunities to become female leaders. Just like we have Pooja Shazman over here, she's leading the team as a country manager. So all these things are happening in Halliburton. We do have such platforms, and they have been working. They have been putting all the efforts to have to recruit and retain the women in the industry.
That actually leads really well into an audience question that just came in here. We had a question saying, how can organizations and industry leaders encourage more young women to consider careers in the oil and gas industry? What can be done to promote STEM education and provide industry exploration opportunities for young women? All right, so let's talk about this. If these STEM programs or programs that were focused on getting women into STEM and STEAM careers, if those didn't exist when y'all were coming up, what do you think would have helped? What would you have liked to have seen when you were, getting into the workforce that would have encouraged you to consider a career in this industry a lot sooner? Pooja S., you want to start?
Yeah. So I would highly encourage, the young people or the young women out there, to take a keen interest in the oil and gas industry, to understand what this industry can offer. And having an engineering background here for this particular industry can take you to higher levels or higher interests or higher titles that you can aspire to be here. So one would be to get into the STEM program of understanding how the science or the technicality can help you build in this. And also I would encourage that in this we have two verticals, either be technical or be in a business development, right? So if they're really interested in this, then the STEM or a business administration program or a business development program can really help people in the oil and gas industry, where they can really fit in and do wonders in this industry, because this industry is actually have a lot of opportunities in the coming years as well. And that can get in these young people's new ideas in, right? Because in my experience, they have new ideas which we do not think, because we are here in 13 years in the industry. We would have a mindset which these new people have new ideas. And because I've seen with interns, for an example, right, when they come to do internship for 2 months, and they bring upon like new ideas which we never thought upon. So I mean, probably doing an internship can encourage them to at least see or experience for a particular month that how this oil and gas can be one of their passions. And then if they really like it, they can really approach and be in this industry and make a career out there.
Excellent. Pooja or Shreyasi, anything that you would have liked to have seen when you were coming up that would have helped you feel more encouraged to join this field?
Not that, but what I really want to comment after what Pooja has said is that soon we don't call it as a male-dominated industry. Everyone be encouraged to join it, and then let it be called as female-dominated industry soon. So as of now, like I said, that we do have a lot of platforms in Halliburton which encourages women to join in and feel comfortable as well. Always we have resources where you can raise your voice if you feel something is not right. So, and Halliburton gives you that freedom to talk.
All right. Okay, now I'm going to ask each of you this question. I want to know if there's any specific skills or areas of expertise. Is there anything that you think is particularly advantageous for women who are entering the oil and gas industry? You know, somebody wants to pivot in, but they're not sure what is going to be the most, you know, hold the most weight. So what are some of those skills or characteristics that you think are really helpful as a woman within this space? Shreyasi, you want to start us?
Yeah, I think over the years, considering the cyclical nature of the oil and gas industry, we've seen a lot of downturns and upturns. The number one skill set that we need to bring in is adaptability. Because with every such cyclical change, there have been massive reorganizations, lateral shifts, a lot of roles have been created, a lot of opportunities have been created. And only if you are seen as someone who is highly adaptable and flexible would you get an opportunity to, you know, fit into those roles. So I myself have transitioned into many different roles over the years, and the reason probably that I was able to do that was because I was seen as a good fit, someone who's adaptable, someone who can readily transition without, you know, having an impact on the work itself. So for me, adaptability is the key skill set that people need to bring into the oil and gas sector. More so now because new technologies are advancing in oil and gas at a very fast speed.
Okay, great. Pooja C, how do you feel about this? What do you think are some skills or characteristics that would really that are really helpful to women within this field?
So there are plenty, but what I would really want to highlight is embrace the challenges and take risks at time. Not everything is going to be in a comfort zone. So step out of your comfort zone at once. Embrace the challenge that you're getting. Face it. Be open to take some calculated risks and view failures or setbacks, whatever you get, view them as a learning opportunity and move forward. But then unless and until you don't take that risk, it won't you won't understand whether you are in the position to even successfully drive it. But you might have that competency of doing it and you will never recognize it. So just take risks wherever it's required. Calculated risk, definitely.
Calculated, absolutely. All right, let's see. We've got a couple more questions here. I'm going to see if we can maybe get through one more. All right, let's talk about imposter syndrome. Do any of y'all suffer from it? And if you do, what have you been doing about it? You know, is there something that helps you with it? You know, what are some of the ways that you fight it? Pooja S, let's start with you.
Yeah. So honestly, I didn't even know this actually existed, you know, the imposter syndrome. And I'm surprised to know that there is something like this. But by nature, I think women actually face that maybe because of the society pressures or the people around us, and especially being in a male-dominated society, we naturally feel that, right? I mean, even if you're doing well, sometimes you just undervalue yourself that, oh, no, something is not right, I know. And I honestly didn't know if that was something, and I don't know if I actually went through that. But yes, we are day in, day out, you know, being challenged to, estimate ourselves or try to, top in every area that or every perspective that they're dealing with, right? And we are comparing ourselves with males out here. So it's every day, it's a task that, no, I need to do better, right? So, and if you don't, you just say, oh, I don't think I'm good at that. And then probably you leave it at that. But what I would say that don't give up, you know, maybe you'll fall once, twice or thrice, but always get up and try. And I'm sure, and I've seen that myself in my personal experience, that if you keep trying, you will get there at the end of the journey, or you will get that at the end of the road. But keep trying, don't give up, and don't underestimate yourself because you're surrounded by males. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there to help you. Maybe it can be the male fraternity or the female fraternity out there, but there are people who will really care about you and will help you out through that. And never undervalue wherever you are, wherever you are in this journey. That's where you are there, and just keep driving forward from there.
Meg, I guess you've muted yourself.
Dear Lord, y'all, how many times a week do I do this? Thank you. I didn't want to cut you off, but thank you so much for your answer there, Pooja. Apologies, we won't be able to let Shreyasi or Pooja C answer these questions because we got to keep moving. But thank you to each of you. It's been really, really wonderful to learn from you three today and share in some of your expertise. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.